Welcome to the Deep Dive. We love to explore stories that our listeners recommend, and today we are diving headfirst into one you shared with us, Homer's The Odyssey.
It is an epic tale for sure.
Yeah, and using the Project Gutenberg ebook, no less, the real deal. So our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to uncover those key narratives and insights from the Odyssey. Get to the heart of it all.
Absolutely. We'll be focusing, of course, on books within the Odyssey, like Telemachus' journey in search of his father and all the crazy trials Ulysses has to go through to get back home.
Yeah, and what's happening back in Ithaca while all this is going on.
Right, exactly.
Wild stuff. Now we're using, of course, Homer's original text, translated into English prose by Samuel Butler.
It gives us such a direct connection, to this ancient epic. It's fantastic.
I know, I love it. And for all you learners out there,
Mm-hmm.
those of you who are all about getting the knowledge quickly but thoroughly,
Yeah.
and having those like aha moments, that's what we're going to be doing today.
Yeah. Right. We're going to extract those compelling parts, those nuggets of wisdom, and kind of navigate through all the rich details without getting bogged down.
Right. We're going to highlight those surprising facts and, of course, the core of the story. So are you ready to embark on this epic journey with us?
Let's set sail.
All right, let's go.
So we're starting, of course, in book one. This really just kind of sets the stage for everything that unfolds in the Odyssey, the situation in Ithaca.
Right.
And we see Minerva, deeply concerned for Ulysses. And she actually goes to Jove, kind of pleading his case, saying, hey, can this guy come home already?
Yeah.
Now, it's interesting. There's this kind of like a side note, a mention of Aegisthus's fate.
Right.
And, Aegisthus, he kind of gets what's coming to him. And it's kind of a separate issue, but it also kind of foreshadows the theme of justice, that plays out through the entire epic.
Right.
But the main focus is on Ulysses. And, he's captive, held by Calypso, this beautiful nymph on, this forest-covered island right in the middle of the sea.
Right. It's like a gilded cage, right? Because she's in love with him, and he's like, oh,
Yeah.
But he's so homesick.
Mm.
He is so longing for home. In fact, there's this beautiful passage where Butler describes him as weary of life, and that all he thinks about is the smoke rising from his own land.
Oh, wow. It's so poignant,
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, okay, so Jove remembers the sacrifices that Ulysses offered to him at Troy. So why isn't Jove like stepping in right away? What's the holdup?
Well, Jove's response, I think, is really key here because he does acknowledge Ulysses' worth.
Okay.
And, he remembers those offerings, but he explains that Neptune, he is just furious.
So furious.
Still, yeah. About what happened to his son, Polyphemus.
Right, of course.
When Ulysses blinded him. And in here, we get a little bit of, Polyphemus' parentage. He's the son of Neptune and this nymph named Thusa, the daughter of the sea king, Phorcys. So, talk about, family ties. This explains why Neptune's revenge is so powerful.
Right. So it's not just like a random monster.
Right.
It's Neptune's son.
Right, exactly. It's personal.
Okay.
So you see, Neptune's not necessarily like out to kill Ulysses, but his wrath, it's what's preventing him from getting home.
Right. But the fact that Jove's willing to, chat with the other gods about it gives us a little sliver of hope.
Yeah, there's a possibility there.
Yeah, okay. It's like Ulysses' fate is hanging in the balance, kind of caught in these divine squabbles.
Absolutely.
But meanwhile, back in Ithaca, Penelope's just heartbreaking.
She's grieving.
Grieving, yeah. Her husband's been gone forever. And then you've got all these suitors, clamoring for her hand in marriage.
Yeah, just running amok.
Running amok, totally disrespectful. And they're like eating her out of house and home, basically.
It's terrible.
So like amidst all this chaos, you've got Telemachus, her son.
Right.
And he's really stepping up. So in this assembly, he addresses these suitors.
Yeah.
And like for a young guy, he's pretty forceful.
Very brave.
Yeah, he tells them, like, you guys need to stop with the extravagance.
Yeah.
And he's like, get out of my house.
Yeah.
Now this is key for all of you learners out there, because this is the beginning of Telemachus' own journey, coming of age.
His awakening.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not just going to sit back and let this happen anymore.
Exactly. And he's not just like complaining.
No.
He's taking action. He says, you know what? I'm going to call a formal assembly tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make this official.
Right.
But there's this interesting moment where he expresses his hope in Jove's intervention.
Yeah. That if they don't listen, that the gods will intervene.
Right. And it's kind of like he's not like 100% certain, but he's putting his faith out there.
He's got a little bit of doubt.
Yeah. And it's interesting because he acknowledges that, people are saying his dad's dead, but he's like, I don't buy it.
Yeah, he doesn't really believe it.
Yeah. And he even, he mentions that his mom sometimes consults soothsayers, but he doesn't pay much attention to those prophecies.
He's skeptical.
Yeah. And then this crazy thing happens. He recognizes Minerva disguised as Mentes.
Son of Anchialus.
Right, this old friend of his dad's. And this is like a huge deal because it shows that the gods are like directly involved.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a sign.
Yeah, it's a sign that they're guiding Telemachus on his journey.
Absolutely.
But, all of this is happening. The suitors are totally oblivious.
Right.
They're just continuing with their feasting and dancing until like nightfall. They are clueless.
They're in for a rude awakening.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So under Minerva's, guidance, Telemachus starts to prepare for his own voyage.
Right.
In secret.
Secretly.
Yeah. His mom doesn't know. Most of the household doesn't know.
It's all hush-hush.
Yeah, he's got Euryclea, this amazing old nurse.
Yeah, she's incredible. She's actually the one, who Laertes, Ulysses' father, bought as a young girl. Right.
And he always treated her with so much respect. So her loyalty to the family, it's amazing.
That's a recurring theme in the Odyssey, for sure. This idea of loyalty.
Oh, absolutely.
And she just loves Telemachus like a son.
Like her own.
Yeah.
She actually helped raise him from a baby.
And so she's helping him prepare, get all the provisions ready. Right.
All the supplies, like 12 jars of wine.
Wow.
And, 20 measures of barley meal, all in these leather bags.
Wow.
I mean, they're going to need it. It's a
Yeah.
long journey.
Yeah. And he's heading to Sparta and Pylos.
To seek news of his father.
Of his father, yeah. But when Euryclea finds out, she is beside herself.
She's devastated.
Yeah, she's heartbroken.
Worried.
Worried, yeah. She's like, you can't go. It's too dangerous.
Right. The sea's unpredictable.
Yeah.
And then there's the suitors. What if they find out? They could try to stop him.
Yeah. But Telemachus, he's determined.
He's got to do this.
Yeah. So he gives all these, instructions to the crew. Load up the ship. Don't tell my mom. It's all very cloak and dagger.
It is. And finally, under the cover of darkness, Telemachus and Minerva, disguised as a sailor, they set off.
Yeah. And Minerva, she sends a fair wind to speed their journey.
Oh, nice. I love those little details that Butler gives us.
Yeah, it's great. Like the mast fitting into its socket, the forestays being tightened.
Yeah.
And those white sails made of, twisted oxhide billowing out.
And then, of course, they make drink offerings to the gods.
To all the immortal gods, especially to Minerva.
Why?
It's a very, very solemn moment.
Yeah. So they're off. Telemachus is embarking on this epic quest of his own.
Absolutely.
I know, excited to see where this goes.
Me too.
So book 3, Telemachus arrives in Pylos.
Yes.
And he meets Nestor, who is known for his wisdom and I think his age too.
Oh, he's ancient.
Very ancient, yeah.
And he's holding this huge sacrifice to Neptune.
Right, because Neptune is the god of the sea. And,
Yeah. And it's a grand spectacle.
Oh, I bet.
9 guilds, 500 men each. Wow.
9 bulls per guild. I mean, can you imagine?
That's a lot of bulls.
It's a huge sacrifice.
That's amazing. So amidst all this religious fervor, right?
Yeah.
Minerva, she's still disguised, of course. She gives Telemachus a pep talk. She's like, don't worry, the gods are with you.
They're dieting him.
Yeah. And they finally arrive at Nestor's assembly. And it's interesting because Nestor and his sons are just preparing dinner.
Yeah, very casual.
Yeah, hey, come on in, we're having dinner. And then Pseudos, one of Nestor's sons, he shows them incredible hospitality.
It's that Greek hospitality. It's sacred.
Yeah, and I love the details.
Yes.
He offers them his hand, invites them to sit on sheepskins, and he serves them portions of, the best meat.
The inward meats, yeah.
And then he pours them wine. But he offers it to Minerva first.
As a sign of respect.
Right. And even though, she's disguised as a sailor,
Right.
it's he senses something. And I think it's Pseudos who suggests that Minerva should pray to Neptune. Yeah, because it's his feast.
Right.
And Minerva, she gives this beautiful prayer asking for Neptune's blessing, not just for Nestor and his sons, but for the entire Pylian people.
Right.
And, for the success of Telemachus and her own mission. It's a really powerful moment.
I love that. And Nestor, he's like a walking history book, right?
He has seen it all.
Yeah. So he starts telling all these stories about the return journeys of the Achaeans from Troy.
And he talks about the split between Menelaus and Agamemnon and how he himself sailed, separately with Diomedes.
Right.
And he mentions all these places like Tenedos, Lesbos, and this really crucial decision about whether to sail outside or inside Chios.
Oh, wow.
And they were guided by a heavenly sign.
Right, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, to head for Euboea. And eventually they arrived at Geristus and offered sacrifices to Neptune.
Okay.
And then Diomedes, he sailed on to Argos. And Nestor, he journeyed to Pylos with this constant fair wind. As, the gods were smiling on him.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's just amazing to, imagine all these journeys,
Yeah.
happening all at the same time.
Yeah.
And, Nestor, being the wise old sage that he is,
Mm-hmm.
she gives Telemachus some advice. He says, you shouldn't stay away from home for too long
Right.
because, those suitors, they're dangerous.
No trouble.
Yeah. And he suggests that Telemachus should go visit Menelaus because he's likely to have the most accurate information about Ulysses.
Because, Menelaus, his journey was also really long and really difficult.
Right.
So he may have encountered Ulysses along the way.
Yeah. And then Nestor drops this bombshell. He starts talking about Agamemnon.
Yeah. And how Aegisthus, he actually employed this watchman, and he basically planned this whole plot against Agamemnon.
Ugh, that's terrible.
It is. It's really tragic. And they ambushed him in the cloister
Oh, wow.
and held this treacherous banquet. It's just awful. And Menelaus, he actually heard about this, about Agamemnon's death from Proteus,
Oh, wow.
the old man of the sea, and he was devastated.
Yeah, of course.
Proteus advised him to return home quickly,
Right.
and so he did.
So, this story is a warning, right, to Ulysses about, the dangers of returning home.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So Nestor, being the hospitable guy that he is, he's like, hey, Telemachus, why don't you stay a little longer?
Right.
And he offers him, all these amazing gifts, a chariot and 3 horses and a beautiful chalice.
Very generous.
Very generous, yeah.
But Telemachus, he's very mature for his age.
I know he is.
He declines, politely refuses, saying, well, my crew's getting impatient.
Yeah.
And honestly, he says, Ithaca's not really suited for horses.
It's very rocky, right?
Yeah. Very different from Nestor's kingdom.
Yeah, so he's like, I think I'd prefer a piece of plate.
Yeah. Something a little more practical.
Practical.
Yeah.
Okay, so book 4, this is where Telemachus reaches Sparta and meets Menelaus.
Right. But before we jump into that, we go back to Ithaca.
Oh, right.
And we see Antinous, one of the suitors, reacting to Telemachus' departure.
Oh, right.
And he's, shocked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like, wait, this guy's resourceful.
He pulled a fast one on us.
Yeah, he did.
That's great.
And then he starts getting, kind of scheming. He's like, we got to ambush him in the straits between Ithaca and Samos.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And of course, the other suitors, they're all for it.
Yeah, let's get him.
Yeah, it's terrible. It really shows their true character, you know?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
So back in Ithaca, Penelope's freaking out.
Yeah. She finds out that Telemachus is gone and she's devastated. She's like, first I lose Ulysses, now my son.
Oh, man.
It's too much. And she's so angry at the maids for not telling her. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to send for Dolius.
Who's Dolius?
He's this old servant.
Right.
And she's like, he's going to go tell Laertes,
Okay.
Ulysses' dad,
Yeah, yeah.
to tell him what's happening.
And, of course, Minerva, she's always looking out.
She's watching over them.
Yeah. She appears to Penelope in a dream, disguised as her sister Iphthime.
Yeah.
And she's like, don't worry, girl. Telemachus is going to be fine. He hasn't done anything wrong.
Right.
The gods are protecting him.
Yeah.
But even with that reassurance, Penelope, she's still so worried.
Yeah, because, Telemachus, he's so young.
And inexperienced.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the same as, Ulysses going off.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so we switch gears again.
Right.
We're back with Ulysses.
On Calypso's island.
And Calypso's like, hey, I'm going to build you a raft. You can go home.
Yeah.
But Ulysses is not buying it.
He's suspicious.
He's like, after all these years, what's the catch?
Yeah, he doesn't trust the gods anymore.
Yeah. And he's like, swear to me, you're not trying to mess with me.
And he makes her swear the most solemn oath.
Wow.
By heaven, earth, and the river Styx.
Wow, that's serious.
It's the most sacred oath a god can make.
Okay. So even after that, he's still a little skeptical.
Yeah.
And he decides, you know what? I'm going to stick with this raft as long as it holds together.
Yeah.
And then if I have to, I'll swim.
He's determined.
Determined, yeah.
But Minerva, she's got his back.
She's always got his back.
She stills all the winds, except for this strong north breeze to carry him towards the land of the Phaeacians.
Oh, that's nice of her.
It is. She's looking out for him.
So Ulysses is adrift for, 2 days and 2 nights.
Yeah, it's tough. But on the third day, the sea calms.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, and he sees land.
Finally.
He's overjoyed.
Yeah.
Butler, he compares Ulysses' joy to, like, children seeing their sick father recover.
Wow.
It's that powerful.
Yeah.
But as he gets closer, he hears the surf crashing against the rocks.
Oh.
And he realizes there are no harbors, no shelter, just these, jutting headlands and low-lying rocks and these, mountaintops.
It's treacherous.
It is.
Yeah. So, I mean, talk about, like, out of the frying pan into the fire, right?
It is. But, fate has something else in store for him.
Okay.
It's where we meet Nausicaa, the daughter of King Alcinous.
Oh.
And she's been prompted by Minerva in a dream to go down to the shore. And she tells her maids to help this shipwrecked man.
Oh, that's nice.
It is. And at first, the maids, they're like scared.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah, because Ulysses, I mean, he's looking pretty rough.
He's been through a lot.
He has. But Nausicaa, she's like, don't worry, we're Phaeacians. We're known for our hospitality.
Right. And besides, the gods protect strangers.
Exactly.
Well, they offer him food, drink, a golden cruse of oil.
Yeah. And they tell him to go wash up in this sheltered stream.
Okay.
And Ulysses, he's very modest. He's like, can you ladies, like, step aside while I get cleaned up?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he washes up, he anoints himself with the oil.
Right.
And then, boom, Minerva steps in again.
She does.
And she, like, enhances his appearance, right?
Right. She makes him taller, stronger, more handsome.
Wow.
And Nausicaa, she's, like, smitten.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, she's totally captivated.
So that's a good sign for Ulysses, right?
It is. It's a sign that things are starting to look up for him.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, book 7, Ulysses, at the Palace of Alcinous.
Right. So we get this beautiful description of Alcinous's palace.
Oh, yeah, it's like super fancy.
It is.
Tell me about it.
It's got these gold and silver mastiffs, right?
I hate it.
Yeah, fashioned by Vulcan, the god of the forge.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And there are seats all along the walls, coverings made by the women of the house.
Right.
And these golden figures holding torches, and 50 maidservants, all doing different tasks.
Wow.
Like grinding grain, weaving, spinning. And the Phaeacian women, they're known for their weaving.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because Minerva, she taught them.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then there's this huge garden outside.
Yeah, it's like this paradise.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Like 4 acres, walled in.
Wow.
And it's got all these fruit trees, pears, pomegranates, apples, figs, olives. And they bear fruit year-round.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then there's this vineyard with grapes, in different stages of ripeness.
Right.
And beautiful flower beds.
Wow.
Like always in bloom year-round.
Year-round. That's incredible.
It is. It's amazing. And then there are these 2 streams running through it.
Okay.
One for irrigating the garden, and the other, it runs under the outer court and right into the house. So they have fresh water, all the time.
Wow. Talk about luxury.
It is. It's paradise. It's like the gods have really blessed this place.
Oh.
But Ulysses, he's still humble. He's still like this weary traveler.
Right.
And he goes to Queen Arete, Alcinous, and all their guests, and he's just like pleading for help.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I just want to go home.
I've been gone for so long.
Yeah. And he talks about all the troubles he's faced. And to show his humility, he sits down right on the hearth among the ashes. It's a really powerful image.
Yeah.
And then this guy, Aeneas, he speaks up.
Okay.
And he's like, we got to help this guy. We got to help him get home.
Oh, yeah?
And Alcinous, he's like all for it. He's like, Pontonous, mix some wine. We're going to make a drink offering.
Okay.
And then he addresses all the Phaeacian aldermen. He's like, we're going to have a bigger assembly tomorrow.
Right.
A sacrificial banquet. And we're going to figure out how to get this guy home.
Okay.
But he also says something interesting. He's like, this guy, he might be an immortal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, we're pretty close to the gods. We have Phaeacians.
Right.
They often, hang out with us. So who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be a little skeptical, but I'd be like, open to the possibility.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does Ulysses think about all this?
Oh, Ulysses is thrilled.
So he's like, finally, I'm going home.
He prays to Jove. He's so happy.
That's awesome.
It is. And then Arete, she's like the practical one.
Oh, yeah.
She tells her maids, go prepare a bed for Ulysses in the gatehouse.
Okay.
With red rugs and woolen cloaks. Make sure he's comfortable.
Oh, that's so nice of her.
It is. And the maids, they do it. And Ulysses, he's just glad to rest.
Yeah, of course.
So he sleeps in the gay house. And Alcinous and Arete, they sleep inside.
Okay, so everybody's getting a good night's sleep.
Exactly. They're all preparing for the big day tomorrow.
All right, let's go to book 8, the big day.
The banquet in the house of Alcinous.
Okay.
And then the games.
The games. Okay, tell me all about it.
So Alcinous and Ulysses, they wake up at dawn.
Okay.
And they go to this assembly near the ships.
Okay.
And they sit side by side on these polished stone seats.
Okay.
Very important.
Yeah, they're like equals.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Minerva, disguised as a servant, she's going around town.
Right.
She's like, hey, everybody, you gotta come see this godlike stranger.
Okay, so she's like drumming up the crowd.
Yeah, she's creating a buzz.
Yeah.
So everybody gathers. Okay. And Alcinous, he's like, before we send this guy home, we're gonna have a feast.
Okay.
And so they make a sacrifice to Jove.
Okay.
And they have this, amazing feast. And then Demodocus, the bard, he starts singing.
Oh, nice.
And he sings about the quarrel between Ulysses and Achilles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And Agamemnon, he's like really pleased.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Apollo, he had prophesied this discord.
Okay.
And it was like the beginning of all the troubles for both the Danaans and the Trojans.
Oh, so it's like a significant event.
It is. And then Alcinous, he's like, you know what? We need some entertainment. We're going to have some athletic contests.
Oh, did I call?
And he names all these competitors,
Okay.
including Euryalus
Okay.
and, of course, Alcinous's sons.
Right, showing off.
Yeah. And they have, like, all these different events, the fit race, wrestling, jumping, discus.
Wow.
It's like a mini Olympics.
It is.
And Euryalus, he's, like, kind of cocky. He's, like, taunting Ulysses. Why aren't you participating?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's like still in disguise as a beggar.
Right. So Ulysses is like, okay, fine, I'll show you.